In this video, I'm revealing a simple and profitable scalping strategy that is proven to have a high win rate. So, without any further ado, let's dive right into it. For this scalping strategy, I'm using three types of exponential moving averages: the 25, 50, and 100 periods. And I'm going to use the 5-minute time frame. So this is how the strategy works. The first step is that we want to find an existing trend, and the way that we do that is by looking at the EMAs. All three lines need to be heading in the same direction and are also separated from each other like this. Remember, we don't want ranging markets like this, which can be identified by the EMAs heading sideways. You also want to avoid markets where the lines are crossing each other like this. Remember, we want the three indicators to be in the same direction. The position of the candles is also important. You want to find a setup where the candles are fully outside of the 25 EMA like this. So once you've identified a setup, the next step is finding our entry signal. Our entry signal will be when the price makes a pullback and closes below the 25 or 50 EMA. Let me show you what I mean. So in this chart, we have spotted an existing uptrend as shown by the three EMAs. All of them are heading upwards while the candles are above them. Next, you want to wait for the price to make a pullback towards the 25 or 50 EMA. And so this will act as our entry setup. The next step is to wait for the price to pull back to the 25 EMA again. Once this happens, you take a buy position here. However, if the price instead went down and broke below the 100 EMA, you want to cancel your whole setup and look for other trade opportunities, because this may indicate that the trend is changing. Now, for your exit strategy, let's say you took a buy position here. You want to set your stop loss at the 50 EMA, and for your take profit, you set it at 1.5 times your stop loss. So here's an example of the strategy in action. In this chart, we can see that the market is currently on an uptrend, as shown by all the EMAs heading upwards while all the candles are above the EMAs. Next, we are waiting for a pullback towards the 25 or 50 EMA. But remember, it must not cross the 100 EMA. So once the pullback happens, the next step is to wait for the price to reverse back up to the 25 EMA. Once this happens, we take a buy position. Next, we set our profit target and stop loss here. As you can see, the price ended up hitting our profit target, so this counts as a successful trade. Let's look at another example. In this chart, we can identify an existing downtrend, as shown by all the three EMAs heading downwards while all the candles are below the EMAs. Next, we wait for a pullback towards the 25 or 50 EMA. And remember, the pullback must not overlap the 100 EMA. So once the pullback happens, we wait for the price to go back to the 25 EMA again. And when it does, you take a sell position here. Next, we set our profit target and stop loss here. And as you can see, the price hit our profit target, and this would have been a very successful trade. So that is how you trade the triple EMA scalping strategy. Now, as a bonus, I'm going to reveal to you another highly profitable scalping strategy. For this strategy, I'm using a combination of RSI, the 200 EMA, and the engulfing pattern. So this is how the strategy works. First, you need to change the settings for the engulfing pattern to no detection. For the RSI, set the upper and the lower band both to 50. So now you have a single line in the middle of the RSI. Next, I'm using the 1-minute time frame. For your entry setup, if the price is above the 200 EMA while a candle shows a bullish engulfing pattern while the RSI is also above the 50 line, you take a buy position. It's the same for short positions. If the price is below the 200 EMA, while a candle shows a bearish engulfing pattern, while the RSI is also below the 50 line, you take a sell position. Now, for our exit strategy, once you have entered the trade, you want to set your stop loss below your entry candle here and set your profit target at 2 times your stop loss. So now, let's look at this strategy in action. In this chart, we can see that the price is above the 200 EMA, meaning that the price is in an uptrend. And so, we only take signals from the bullish engulfing patterns. Next, we can actually see a bullish engulfing pattern forms. However, we can see that the RSI is still below the midline, so you want to ignore this signal. Next, we can see that another bullish engulfing pattern has formed, but this time the RSI is already above the midline. So this is our entry signal and you want to take a buying position here. Now, for your stop loss, you set it below your entry candle here. And for your take profit, you set it at 2 times your stop loss. And so, as you can see, this ended up being a profitable trade. Let's look at another example. In this chart, we can see that the price is below the 200 EMA, meaning we only take signals from the bearish engulfing patterns. Then, we can spot that the bearish engulfing pattern has formed, and the RSI is also below the midline. And so, you want to take a sell position here. Next, you set your stop loss above your entry candle, and for your profit target, you set it at 2 times your stop loss. And voila, this ended up being a profitable trade. Now, I'm going to give you 5 quick tips to make you a better scalper. So the first tip is that you don't need to take every trade. When you're scalping, you'll find situations where you would have received multiple entry signals. If this happens, you don't need to take all of them. Only take the trades that you are able to manage, because it's very hard to handle multiple trades at once, especially when you're scalping. The second tip is do not risk too much capital. You never want to risk more than 1% of your capital per trade. I recommend risking only 0.5% for each trade. The third tip is knowing when to stop trading. When you're scalping, you can easily find yourself trading for hours and hours, and over time, you will get tired and lose focus. So it's very important to know when to take a break. You don't have to worry about missing entry signals because there always will be other opportunities in the market. The fourth tip is to make sure you're using a broker with a low spread. This is actually very important because when you're scalping, every single pip counts. And if you are using a broker with a wide spread, you will have a very hard time making profits. And the last tip I have for you is to stick with one pair. When you're scalping, entry signals will appear very often. So you don't have to worry about missing entry signals from other pairs. Just choose one that you are comfortable with and stay with it. I recommend pairs like Euro USD for Forex and Bitcoin USD for crypto. So I just revealed 2 profitable scalping strategies that you can immediately trade right now. And all I ask for in return is for you to take 2 seconds of your time into liking the video and subscribing to the channel. It literally takes only 2 clicks, but it means a lot to me and it's the only way that you can support this channel. You can also check out my other videos as I'm sure you'll find some value in. So thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next video. Peace out.